So, I had a message. Somebody wants to know how to paint grass in Giants Editor. For some reason, in the other videos, I keep calling it Giants Engine. It's not. It's Giants Editor. Come on, Mr. P, get with it. So, let's go from the beginning. Say you have just downloaded a map, whether it be from the mod hub or a third party. Here we go. I've just randomly got this one for now. It'll do. Un air de Hotel Loire. This one. And this is how it will come. It will come as a zip folder. If you want to edit these maps, what I want you to do is you're first of all going to need to download either WinRAR, WinZip, 7-zip. I mean, if you're looking at this video, you obviously already have one of those things that zip files. But what I want you to do for now, as always, it's in the downloads folder. We'll start from there. So, I want you to highlight your file and right click on the mouse. I then want you to click where it says extract here, which will be the fourth one down. Here we go. And that will literally extract all the files from this one onto this area here. Which, here we go, it's doing it now. Jeez, my throat. And again, what we are looking for is the i3D of the map. As you can see, there's a little icon here and it says maps, so obviously let's have a look in here. This is what we're looking for, the one here in there that says map. It says i3D file format map. That is the one that we are looking for. So what I'd like you to do is on your mouse, double click the left button, there we go, and that will come up with this here. It says multiple versions of Giants Editor are installed on this computer. Please choose which version you want to use. Obviously the newest version I've got so far is 9.0.3, but if you're looking at this later on down the line, just use the newest version that you have. My throat, it's getting cold here. But just use the newest version that you have. So here we go. It is going to load Giants Engine now. Or Giants Editor, should I say. Just keep saying engine. What's wrong with me? But here we go. It is going to load the i3D file in Giants Editor of this map. A few noises in the background. That's the animals. There we go. You just got to give it a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds to load, because some of these maps are pretty big and my back itches. Right, so here we go. This map has loaded. This is what you'll see, whether it be this map or any other map. Normally you spawn in at like the center of the map. It depends where the spawn point is, but here we go. Right now let's look for an open area where we can actually look at putting some grass. A nice big open area. Don't want to mess with any of the fields. Ah, here we go. Here's a nice big open area. This will be where placeables are in the map. So if you do see some areas that are built up like this, it's normally because when people build the farms, or the modders build their farms, sometimes they will incorporate mods into the farm builds. That's why you will not see them here, like the in-game cow pens and things like that, or bunker silos and the like. Sometimes you'll see like an area like this and it'll just be blank. That's why. So don't panic. That is why. But what we want to do right now is I want to show you, as requested, how to paint grass. So what you want to do is, let's just zoom in. You can see this is concrete. We don't want concrete, we want grass. So here we are. What you want to do is up in these icons, just here, you see a little one that looks like this. Terrain detail, texture, paint mode, with like a little red pencil above it. I want you to select that one and it will highlight it in blue. That's when you know it is selected. Then in here where it says terrain editing on the left hand side, just here, I want you to scroll down to where it says texture layer painting. That is what this one is here. Terrain detail texture paint mode. It says grass dirt. Well, we just want to put grass down. It works the same for any of these. As you can see, mud, gravel, wet mud, you know, and all these gravelly moss. It depends what kind of dirt textures they've put in their map. But we just want grass. Base game grass is always going to be in capital letters. That is the base game generic grass. So what we want to do is click on grass, the one that is, you know, all capitalized. And what we'll be able to do is with left click, now we have this selected, we can now paint the green texture down. It hasn't put the grass in yet. The last thing you want is to put a little bit of, like, you do a really nice area and you've realised all your grass that you've put in is on concrete. You don't want that. So let's just paint this area for now. There we go. There we are. So that is now painted green. If you want to make it like a bigger radius or a smaller radius, on your mouse there is a central scroll wheel. Like, scroll it down, makes it wider. Scroll it up, makes it smaller. I mean, it's so simple. Look at this. So simple. Just the scroll wheel in the middle of your mouse. Up, makes it smaller. Scrolling it down, makes it bigger. So, we now want to look at putting some grass texture down. So what we want to do is up here, like we did with the little red pencil, there is one that looks like a little tree with leaves. I would like you to select that one. That will then highlight it in blue. There we go, the box has turned blue. Then on the left hand side where we did the texture layer painting, scroll that down till you see one that says foliage layer painting. That is what you need. Foliage layer painting. And it says foliage layer grass. Okay? That's what it is. It's grass, you know? But there's so many different parts of the grass. But in here, at the top one, foliage layer, you can either select meadow, as in meadow grass, normal grass, wheat, canola, barley, maize, you know, potatoes, cotton, alfalfa, rye, you know, all these things you can actually paint down. Like if you wanted to do like a little allotment that you can't really harvest, it's just like a little allotment in the background. I mean, you could do like a little brown field and throw some maize or some barley or whatever in there. But right now, we are going to look at grass. So make sure grass is selected. Where it says foliage channels, do not select any of those. Don't touch any of these, whether it be the blue ones, the yellow ones, or the white ones. Don't mess about with any of those. You do not need any of them. Where it says layer state, underneath foliage layer, I would like you to select that box by left clicking on your mouse. Then you'll come up with these terms right here. It says invisible, green small, green middle, harvest ready, tire, cut, and cut to. Basically, green small is really small grass. Green middle, obviously, the grass is going to be a little bit taller. And harvest ready is tall grass that is fully grown and ready to be cut. So what you want to do is you go on harvest ready, select that, then that will show that the layer state is harvest ready. Okay, so what we now want to do, scroll wheel again, whether it be scrolling down to make a bigger area or a smaller area, left mouse click, and there we go. Hold the left mouse button in and just scroll around where you want this grass. There we go. We'll just paint this area in. There we are. So do be careful of the bushes, because if you go over the bushes, it will remove the bushes, but you can put them back in. That's fine. I wouldn't worry about that. But right, once you've finished, so you don't make any mistakes or press the wrong button, you can go back up here, select the terrain foliage tool again, or press escape on your keyboard, and that will automatically take you out of the painting grass mode. So therefore, if we can have a look, there we go. We've got some beautiful grass now painted in. There it is. And what's that? An old car sat there. Okay. But there it is. Look at that. We have now painted some grass in this area. But be careful. If you already have a saved game and you've made changes to your ground texture in your save on the same area that you're making changes to, please remember these changes that you're doing in Giants Edit will not take effect if you've already edited the painted texture in your save. So this area here, I've literally just done this in grass, but if in your save file you've already added different grass, like in the build menu you've painted grass down, the one you've done in Giants Editor will not be there. It will be the grass that you have put in from your save, or the concrete you've painted down in build mode, and things like that. So always take that into account. Best thing to do is to either, if you're making big changes like this, do areas that you haven't painted down textures in a save file, or restart your save and things like that, because if you've already in your save messed around with paint textures in build mode, these saves will not work. But there we go. There we go. We've painted some grass. But if you want the ones like the meadow grass, which I believe is this, with the purple, the blues, the pinks, same principle. Up in the top corner, the one that looks like a little tree with leaves, select that. And where it says grass, go on to meadow. Then what I want you to do is underneath there, layer state, select that, and go on to again, harvest ready. That means it's fully grown. That's all it means, it's fully grown. There we go. So then, again, left mouse button, click and hold, and that will of course do the meadow grass, which is the ones that's the paint texture that's put down for, you know, in your build mode, basically. This is the one, meadow, harvest ready, is the one you want to use if you've already, like I was saying earlier, made changes to your map and painted the grass down. Normally it will look like this in paint mode, in construction, on the construction part, build mode. It will look like meadow grass. So if you've already painted down this texture in game, use the foliage layer meadow, and then layer state harvest ready. The normal state that you paint down in the build mode in game is meadow grass, which is this one, as you can see, with the poppies and purples and pinks and the likes. That is meadow. So remember, foliage layer meadow is the paint texture that is in base game for you to paint down, and grass is obviously just the normal grass that you see dotted around sometimes. There you go. Grass, meadow grass. Okay? So there you go. That is how you paint grass. You've got the meadow grass, and then you've got the generic grass. So I hope that helps. There we are. We've painted some grass into a map. Be careful which grass you choose. If you have in your save file made changes and painted down grass in a certain area, and you're like, oh, well, I've just made changes to the map, use meadow grass, which is here. Foliage layer meadow. That's the one you want to use if you've already made textural changes. But if you just want to use normal, then of course go down to grass. I hope that helped. If it did, fantastic. If it didn't, well, that's probably the easiest way I could have done it. But till then, I hope this helps, and I'll see you all in the next tutorial, as we're going to go into depth with more things you can do in Giants Editor. Got it right that time. See you soon.